So my question is, do you think centrism is predicated on a certain level of acceptance or contentment with the status quo? And if it is, how do you market centrism to people who are deeply unhappy with the status quo in the United States?
I utterly reject the first premise. And let's just use the example of Abraham Lincoln, because it seems relevant. James Buchanan is the guy, I guess, defending the status quo and setting us on a glide path towards civil war through inaction. Constantly vacillating, finding justifications for the South to begin the preparations of secession. Lincoln is laying out very clear, non-maximalist positions. He's being described as a radical by the reactionaries and a reactionary by the radicals. He's trying to put through a plan of reform with an eye towards reconciliation without compromising core moral principles within the context of his power. It's not defense of the status quo, not even a little bit. And so I think that's where you've got a fundamental sort of problem with centrism as it's understood, as I understand it. I'm advocating the vital center. I'm advocating trying to address the great challenges of our time in a proactive way. And I think if you look at Washington today, the status quo is not centrism at all. I mean, in 1980, 60% of the senators could be described as moderate. There was a high degree of overlap between the parties. There were liberal Republicans and conservative Democrats. And one of the many things that meant was when you had divided government, you could cobble together coalitions. And it was far from perfect. There were tons of problems. But if you look at the voting patterns for that period from, call it 1930 through mid-1960s, an enormous amount gets done when you've got that kind of cross-pollination.